is still going strong. Things have changed in terms of how we get it, but it is still available in print, but it's available online as well.
Correct. And you can archive, or rather, you can find previous articles. And so often we get people that call and say, gosh, a friend of mine had an article written about them, and it was sometime last year. Oh my gosh. Okay. So go to archives and give them their name, and hopefully the writer will retrieve that article.
Well, if you can go back and really see how things have developed over time, over the course of 30 years, how this community has changed if you do that and archive that and check out some of the things that are going on.
Well, many years ago, Up and Coming Weekly was black and white, and it became in color sometime, I guess, in the late
Department of Veterans Affairs.
My brother served. I wanted to help. I just didn't know where to start. Safeguard Veterans connected us with support that understood military life.
Support for veterans, families, and caregivers in community. Visit safeguardveterans.net and click on your city. Safeguard Veterans. Any door, the right support.
We wouldn't be celebrating America 250 if it wasn't for a strong foundation set by the framers. Hamilton built America's financial foundation on the principle of sound, stable money, a principle later embodied by the gold standard. However, we abandoned that discipline in 1971 and have since seen inflation erode the dollar's value. This is David K. Bannon. What is the foundation of your savings? Birch Gold Group has been helping Americans solidify their savings with gold for the past 15 years. They help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Send a works text the word shelter to 989898 and Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit of gold IRAs. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and countless 5-star reviews, let Birch Gold help build your foundation with gold. Text shelter to the number 989898. Do it and do it today. Message and data rates may apply.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GAIN to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GAIN to borrow up to $10,000.
Fancy. don't even know